Lama Tamba Ti Mumba Sive Lamken
Ni Tungene Yegan Chila Sopate, Tangone, Mai, Yanane, Gausu, Sang Tsare, Zushi, Wabata, Ne Sagum, Tawada, Chawate, Shukumada, Chagwela, Jubata, Martin Jambada, Topi, Tusu, Chawadu, Chirvada, Jama Tamba Dobuta, Yala Shibu to the Tse, Sesing Jumba Dobuta. Puga good tebe tse, Sonambu Pupa Zamba. Xian Teda tse, Nuna, Jujo, Jimmy Simbada, Soren Yusin, Jungxin. Jewe Dusu, Jacksiki Jumene, Chamba de Wutang. Sala Rona, Tselgundu Juba Zanda. Chumachi tse, Bagua Shuba de Dungen, Yuber Songxin. Gave Dungeni, Lanzo Yure, Yuki Domyamde. Gurgudan, Chokolon Roshin, Rodudan Yuka, Jakaru Yeshin, Bagwan Yemetu, Ming say, Lao Jeti, Temba say, So Pujing Semeter, Power Minju, Jaya Angwanyame, Roya Nadal Mino, U Zangxing, Zhang Angar Jung, Gene Ki, Ne Shanamja Changxing, Dumeo, Nale Dumea. 수차고 따바다 면제 중국 때마다 뇌배 사동고보다 면배 모소 여제 세바다 뇌시 출진 치바사 시월 도배 동행남수 치외 동행이 란직부 천대네 바로 동로 사배 세너다 제외님으로 담진 휴둔조 매게 타만에 세게 타만에 사 단계 타만에 마신 매주 그 서로 찾고 냐체제는 전도 집었다 소체데 윤이 로르줄 스네 제불롱기 따바 딸 바들 점심 레지 신지 치러서 동네타에서 시야 자다와다 체기 도바다 체비 동네 년 참바다 체기 도바다 체비 동네 네가 추와다 많이 동네 여바 순가의 동네 남소下面我们讲的是这个人道的这个痛苦。所以人道的痛苦呢，从基本上这个生老病死4个方面的痛苦。所以首先第一个，我们在这个生的痛苦是在这个佛经里面也是讲过嘛，所以它呢就是这个我们在母亲的怀里面怀孕以后呢，那就是它那里面，比方说非常热的那种痛苦也有。那有时候母亲吃的那个东西太多，或者是吃的东西太热凉。这样的时候，热量的各种的也是影响到他受到一些痛苦。所以呢，这次我们在这个行长身体的过程当中，我们的这些五根这个产生的时候，也是好像呢就是这个刺刀的样子那样的这种痛苦。这次这个在怀孕期间，这个肚子里的时候有这种肮脏的，或者是有好像呢就是挤起来的那种感觉，各种各样的痛苦都有。那在刚生出来的时候，也是好像呢就是这个很狭窄的一个这个，就是我们脖子这些都是一个掐死的样子，这样的这个痛苦。而且呢就是这个掉下来的时候，好像呢掉到一个糍粑的那种上面一样的，有各种的痛苦会有的。所以呢从总的来说起来的话，我们在这个生的过程当中 从怀孕到最后这个出生，这期间都有这种不同的痛苦在。
Next Rinpoche talk about the 6 realms, the human realms. Generally, the suffering by the human realms, as we know, is divided into 4: birth, old age, sickness, and death. So, from the moment the sentient beings was in the wombs of the mother, up to the time when he or she was born, there are various types of sufferings in the process. Like as stated in the Buddha's a lot of sutra, during the stage of pregnancies by the mothers, the embryo or the baby who are inside will feel the hot and coldness. The hot is expected is and as a result of this heat inside that particular environment, the fetus or the embryo will feel the sufferings. As the pregnant mother eat a lot, or eat something which is cooling, or eat something which is too hot, it will also affect the baby inside. So, great type of sufferings that not all of us can imagine. And also during the formations of the 5 senses, sensory organs, is also created a certain type of uncomfort to the baby. And also in the particular place inside the wombs, the baby will feel that the place is full of a lot of blood and other things which is not too comfortable to the babies, and you will find that it's very uncomfortable inside, it's quite cramped inside. And when the baby was born, it's sort of a squeeze in between of the 2 mountains, and it is a type of sufferings that not us who can imagine. And when the baby come out, when it's out of the body of the mother, he will feel the suffering as if there's a lot of thorns that poke onto the baby. So generally, in this process, the birth of the sentient beings as a baby, he already within that stage, during the period of the 9 months, face a lot of suffering.
所以总的说起来的话，那在怀孕，然后最后生出来，在这一段的期间里，母亲也好，那这个怀孕的小孩也好，两个都是非常辛苦的一个时期。
So generally speaking, from the stage of pregnancy up to the time the baby was born, both the mother and the child also face a lot of suffering, and the mother also have to face have a lot of pain also to give birth to the baby.
那有时候呢，就是这个为了这个难产，难产这个父母两个都这个死亡的，这样出现也是会有的。所以呢，就是这个生的痛苦也是不可思议的。
There are times during giving birth to the baby, the mother will pass away, or the times through the process of it, the baby cannot survive. So all these are also suffering.
那第二个痛苦就是这个老的这个痛苦。那老的痛苦来说起来的话，把你的这个体力、青春逐渐的这个衰弱。所以呢，本来是这个身体直直的，也是弯起来了。那平常很勤快的一个人，也是活动不方便。 那黑色的这种头发也是变得白。然后呢，就是这个脸上也有很多的这种皱纹。那我们五官来说起来的话，眼睛也是模糊，眼睛看不清楚，耳朵也是不清楚，别人说的话也是一下子听不到的，这种也会有。那舌头也是这个变得好像呢就是很僵硬的，所以呢说话也是吞吞吐吐的。所以你的意识的这种也是逐渐呢就是这个记忆力退掉了，什么事情都有记不起来的。所以呢这时候你得把牙齿全部掉光了，想吃东西也是咬不动。既然你吃了以后胃的功能不好，消化不良，所以他的这个呼吸也是好像呢很粗糙的那种呼吸，所以呢就是这个老的这个痛苦来这个引起其他的这种多种病也是引起来的，所以这个老的痛苦也是非常多，是这个意思。
Next, we talk of old age of human beings. When the person gets old, of course, the strength of the body will not be like when he's young. And as he grows old, of course, his complexion is not as radiant as when he or she was young. As the person goes along during old age, you'll find that he cannot stand straight, will have hunchback sometimes, and the movement is not so agile, and instead of having black hairs, the hair will turn into white, wrinkles will appear, and as far as the five sense organs, the eye cannot see clearly, it's always blurred, and the ears also cannot hear properly, and sometimes can't even hear what people say. The tongue is stiff and cannot talk properly or clearly. As to the memory will deteriorate. And as time goes by, all the teeth will come out and cannot bite and enjoy the food properly and face indigestions. The breathing is also different. The breathing can be rough. All these are the suffering faced by a person during old age. And also due to old age, it will give rise to a lot of different kinds of illness.
第三个我们病的痛苦，病的痛苦呢说起来的话，也是我们得了严重这种病的时候，那这个疼痛的这种刺激特别大，所以这是这个为了治好这个病，所以呢这个治病的过程当中，也是比方说你开刀啦，什么切刀啦，什么这样各种各样的这种很有痛苦的这种各种的治疗方法也要接触的。这是呢就是这个你平常喜欢吃的那些食物也是要禁止，不让你吃。再说这个也是这个求医生的过程当中，也是给他送礼啦或者是什么，那就是这个治疗过程当中消费很多，所以你的财也是你的这个经济上也是遇到困难，所以这次呢就是你各种各样的这个不顺心的情况下，你也是经常有这种病气什么呢？就是经常要这个那个生气的那种出现的。这时候也有这个病严重的时候，你也是经常怕自己要死掉，所以呢就是这个病也是给我们带来了很多的痛苦，是这个意思。
Rinpoche say, when we fall ill or have sickness, it also gives us a lot of sufferings. Like, for example, a person happen to face with some serious illness, so it's really the person will not feel pleasant. He will feel very much frustrated, agitated. Why is it so that I have to face this sickness? And also through the process of trying to cure the sickness, we go to the hospital, see the doctors and have surgery and try to eliminate the sufferings. And also they have to face all this sickness, and the advice from doctor a lot of times will be that during this sickness, those food you like to eat, normally you will have to stop it. You cannot eat it, and we will try to look for a doctor. You have to try to please him and try to be nice to the doctors, and financially a lot of people, because of the long time sickness, sometimes they will face financial problems. They will face a lot of things that are not according to the wishes, and due to all this sickness, a lot of time the person will be agitated and get angry very easily. And when the sickness is very fatal, the person will fear for death.
所以第四个呢，我们这个死的痛苦。那死的痛苦来说起来的话，那在自己一个人，独自一个人，从今生到下一世，到下一世去。所以呢，在那个时候，你自己辛辛苦苦所累积起来的这种各种的财富，还有各方面的这个，你的这个平常习惯吃的食物，这些都也不能够带，甚至你非常亲的那些亲戚朋友，也是在这个不能够跟你一起做。所以，那在这个死的时候呢，你睡的是最后的这个床上，那吃的是最后的这个饭，说的是最后的一句话。所以在这样的这个痛苦当中呢，如同在这个鱼在这个沙滩上这个的，比如说离开这个水断到这个沙滩上的时候，鱼是好像呢就是很受不了的嘛。所以这样的这个受这样的痛苦，所以呢，你遭受这个气这个命气这个没有的时候呢，那就是身体呢变成这个尸体。那你的意识呢，跟随这个好像这个风吹的那种羽毛一样，就是这个在到中阴的地方去。所以在中阴的地方呢，那就是遭受各种这种邪魔的这个威胁，这个恐惧，还有遭受各种的痛苦，所以呢，死的痛苦也是非常大的。所以呢，就是这个第四个呢，就是这个死的痛苦。
Next one, we talk of the death of a human being. The suffering is also very great, according to Rinpoche. When a person dies, he alone will have to go away to face the next life. No other person will be with him. So whatever you have accumulated through your years of working hard and accumulated your wealth, your money, your property, or some of the best food you like to eat, all these you cannot take them away with you when you die. Also, your beloved one, your relative, those you care for a lot cannot follow you. The last thing is that you lie on the bed, you eat the last supper, and you say the last words of goodbye. So the suffering is just like a fish that's stuck on on the sand of the beach, whereby like a fish who do not go back to the water, and that kind of suffering is undescribable. What you have faced is that when you die, your body turns into a corpse, and there is no such thing as your lively body. You are just like a feather in the middle of the wind, floating from here and there in the Bados, and you have to face the various phenomena, threatening phenomena, or maras, or devils, or illusions that appears in the Bados. So make you feel, make you insecure, don't know what to do. And this is the sufferings during death.
还有在其他我们在平时生活当中也是遇到的很多的痛苦。那比方说，那我们不想见到的那些人，这个怕见到，但是呢，往往呢这个遇到这些不想见到的那些人，那我们这个不想离开自己的亲人，但是呢，这又是这样的这个亲的时候呢，又要这个要离开的这样的痛苦也是有。那另外一个方面呢，那我们没有的话，就是辛辛苦苦的去寻找，但是寻找过程当中找不到的痛苦，或求不得的痛苦，也是非常大的。那既然你想追求的那些你得到的时候，又不能够这个好好的这个保护它，所以呢，就是要失去的那种危险常常有的。所以呢，就是各种各样的，我们在生活当中也是有各种的这种痛苦存在的。
Besides the four states of birth, old age, sickness, and death, there are other sufferings that the person will have to face during their daily life. They still met with a lot of unpleasantness, a lot of sufferings. Like, for example, there are people where you dislike, you don't like to see them, yet all the times it happens that you have to see them or work with them in the daily life. And there are people you like very much and you do not like them to leave you, but yet a lot of times, because of various factors and conditions, you have no choice but to leave them or they leave you. And there are times there's some things yet you long for, some goods or precious stone that you like to own. You want to get it and yet you cannot get hold of it and you get frustrated. Something you want very much and you cannot get it, that kind of feeling, that kind of frustration is a type of sufferings in the human realms. And there are times you already got those things, the precious things that you love so much, yet you find that you cannot protect it with, you cannot protect it properly, and it creates another type of sufferings. So all these are some examples of suffering that humans can meet in the human realms.
他们引起东面呢，还有第几堂，叫了通的，差不多没通的，预想的，特别是在吧呢，他们的日子堂、大日堂、多日堂、大堂，可罗拉所谓创建那种恰拍背，他们引起我的眼啦接近希望了图片，按照给差的究竟可不分解的，两年给动的手，动的把都没动。那现在我念的是讲的是这个阿修罗道的这个众生的痛苦，所以阿修罗的这个他的主要的痛苦来源是什么呢？他这个阿修罗是这个嫉妒心非常的强，所以他看到这个天人的福报，天人的幸福时候呢，他就这个很产生这样一个嫉妒的心理，那就是准备跟那个天人打仗。在这个打仗的过程当中呢，那这个天人他们呢有很多的这种刀，还有这个金刚，还有剑，还有轮子，各种各样的这种武器，那如同这个下雨般的这个 在阿修罗他们的这个山上来的时候，那把他们有的呢把这个头断掉了，有的这个手脚这些断掉了，那甚至没有断掉的话，也是那个时候恐惧非常的大，所以就这个吐血，然后在这个非常痛苦当中就往生死亡的。所以呢，就是阿修罗的主要的痛苦来源是在这个战争这样一个过程当中遭受各种的痛苦。
Just now, Rinpoche have chant out the verses in respect of the sufferings of the Asura or demigod. The basics of the sufferings of the Asura is because of they have a very strong jealousy towards the heaven, the being in the heaven realms. When they saw those sentients having prosperity and live happily in the heavens, they become very jealous and they want to create war with them. Yet when they create war with them, they can never win the war against the heaven beings, because the heaven people, they have good weapons, they have excellent swords, they have very powerful wheels, knife, and other very, very sharp weapons, whereby during the war between these two realms, it is like weapons will come down like falling rains from the mountains and will cut off the head, the hands, the legs, injure the Asura being very seriously. Even if they do not have to face all these injuries, the phenomena of those weapons coming down like rains will put fear into them so much so that they will vomit bloods and they will die in the suffering stage. So the main idea is in Asura is the war that make them suffer a lot.
他一动的人多个给他们起来子，尤其看到的都是真啊，就是让个带了没关系，先都中应对，没到个成完见他就人，过了这么强，我见没比我成啊完中对起步转起给带俺中心，再不的婆婆再来说呢就帮你让几步绿，俺说老说把起码看到见了呢，再没个讨人俺没给我的。 야르무네 사디 파마운 자시다게 민네 벼데 잠불링도 밀랑기나도 겨울에 쇼지 대량 겨와주제네 치안 렌렌들 겨와 쇼지 스르신 몇도톤데 집주소 대더부 동해니 세샤드 중요 송금도 송미가 하나냐 라란 길레스니 스바오머 동런 유로 대래 재미래 르루 코르베 동행이 상만님이 찾는다. 시송바달 코르와 타다 뒤지다 유로와다. 동네 수기라시 멤버를 강받다도 시비 응주자고 공부를 쳐. 那现在下面讲的是这个天道的天人的这个痛苦。所以这个天界里面也有这种 欲界的天，还有色界的、无色界的天，所以这个色界和无色界的这些天人呢，没有这种欲界天的那种痛苦是没有的。但是欲界的天人这些呢，他们在快要死亡的时候有几个征兆出现的。那有哪几个征兆呢？第一个就是 它的这个身的这个颜色，这个各方面也是变了，或者是这种发臭的。第二个呢，在自己坐的这个地方位置，这个地方也是不想坐，而且想到别的地方去。那天人他们在这个带着很多的这种花嘛，各种各样的天的这个花。 这些花的装饰也是变成这个平时是都是这个崭新的，但是变成旧的。 然后他们这穿的这个天衣也是本绸，而且以前从来没有的这个身体上出一些这个味道，所以呢，当这些产生的时候呢，他就知道那我肯定要这个死亡了。所以在这个时候呢，平常跟很多的这个天人的这个男的女的，这自己的那些朋友，他们也是远远的躲开他。这次呢，他呢这些天人，他有这个，为了他投生到什么样的地方，他是以天眼看到的嘛，所以在天眼看的时候，下意识他如果投生到，比方说恶鬼道的、防生道的，如果这些投生到这些地方的话，那他就这个非常的痛苦所以在那个时候呢，从远远的地方，凭着他自己的那些亲戚也好，那些朋友的那些天人呢，从叫他的名字，那还有他祝福他，那你再次能投身到这个难者不招，所以成为这个人的时候，你再是这个好好的修这个十善法，所以在你能投身到这个天界里面，有这样的祝福，还有撒花，就这样呢，他们就远远的这个离开他。所以这种境界的过程当中，他受这样的痛苦是这个天人的7天。那天人的7天那是时间很长的，从我们人的这个时间的角度来说起来的话，如果这个是比方说33天的这个四大天王的那个地方的话，那就是比方说他们的这个7天是，那我们人的年来算起来的话，150年，所以这样的这个时间那么长嘛，所以比这个更高的那些天人呢，他们的时间越来越长，所以他们的这个天人的痛苦也是非常大的。
7天是150年。
对对，7天人的150年。
So the next one is the suffering faced by the beings in heavens. In the heaven realms, there is the desire realms, form and the formless realms. Those sentient beings in the form and the formless realms, they do not face those suffering as appear on the sentient beings in the desire realms. For those sentient beings in the desire realms, when they die at times, there are various signs that appears which make them realize that they're going to face death. The sentient being who's in the heaven realms who is going to die, the body's color will change. It's not so radiant and the body becomes very smelly. And the seats that they always sit on in the heavens, they would not like to sit anymore. They always like to go other places. And another sign is that they have a lot of flower garlands that they wear on the body. At that particular time, it's starting to return, and the flower will old. It doesn't look so beautiful. And as far as the clothing they were wearing in the heavens, it was always so beautiful. It turns ugly, and the body itself becomes very smelly. And with all these signs, the being knows that he's going to die. So those of his friends in the heavens who always come together and they have a lot of fun and play around, so all those friends will start to be away from him. And then the beings also will be able to see what will happen to him once he dies. If he started to realize that the place that he's going to reborn is the three lower realms, that is, he's going to be in the animal realms, Asura realm, demigod, or in hell, he will feel very, very sad and very, very suffering. And also at that time, with all these signs, from far away, he will see that his relatives and friends will start calling his name, making wishes to him to advise him that, look, you better be reborn in the Jambu Vipa, that is the place where the humans was born. Please be reborn as a human being, and please practice well so that you can come back to the heaven realms. Those people will start throwing flowers to wish him well, and then after that they will go away. So with that, he will face enormous sufferings for 7 days. Whereby these 7 days, if you calculate it in the lowest realms, the three heavens, where the four goddess kings lives, the 7 days is equivalent to 150 years in the human realms. And as the layer of heaven, as it go higher, those beings that live in higher realms in the heavens, the 1 days in heavens on those places, as the level changes, the period of that in the human realm will be even longer. So it's not that only for this case, only 7 days. It is a very long durations for them to wait for before they die.
那这个前面的这个上面的这个欲界以上的色界和无色界的这些天人，也是他们自己的这些福报和功德享受完了以后，那这是他过去生的很多的业力，又要这个投身到这个下三区或者是这个人天，就这样再投身到这个轮回里面来。
As to those sentient beings who live in the form and the formless realms, of course they will enjoy their life because of the merits that has been accumulated by them in the past life. Once all these merits has been used up, and due to the past life karma that have been created since beginningless time, they will ultimately fall into the three lower realms, or they will fall back and get rebirth in the human realms.
所以下面呢，杰米拉热巴讲的这个我们法论上的第17页，日住库尔维东面的3万宁龙查贡达，日住库尔维东面的3万宁龙查贡达，这个意思就是我们六道轮回的痛苦，真的这种回想起来的时候，心里产生一个什么呢？就是这个好像呢，心风一样的，这个心里面产生非常难受的滋味，所以这是米拉热巴尊者讲的。
Then Rinpoche referred to page 17 of the Ngondro text, and he read it in Tibetan. The English version is, consider the sufferings of the being in the 6 streams of samsara. Doing so, great fear and dread arise in the heart. So it is a type of contemplations we have to do in our practice, where we try to contemplate on the sufferings of the 6th stream, and from there, we say that these verses is actually from Lord Milarepa. Deep inside our hearts, we will start to have great fear, and we feel dreadful of the sufferings of the 6th stream, and we would not like to be there for long. We hope to get out of it.
所以总的来说起来的话，那是在三界轮回当中呢，那我们有这种片辛苦、变苦、苦苦三个痛苦呢，那就是在好像呢这个人气活的这个房子里面烧焦一样的，就是有这样一些痛苦在。所以我们为什么要观修这个轮回事故的原因是什么呢？为了我们能够产生这个很大的出离心，所以要这个认识轮回的痛苦。
Generally speaking, in the three realms, that is the desire realm, form realms, and the formless realms, it is still inside the cyclic existence where there is only suffering, there is no happiness. The suffering can be the suffering of suffering, the suffering of change, and the all-pervasive sufferings. So it's like a person in the rooms where you face the burning of the fires, there's no escape, it's full of sufferings. Rinpoche said that why is that we have to contemplate on this, that in this samsaric world or cyclic existence there is only suffering. To contemplate on this, to understand it, is to help us to have renunciations of the worldly concerns, whereby we can practice well in our Dhamma.
听到了同盟跟Ngondro喜欢的呢，他就是一个人送咱的人间呢，看见了我呢，咱们可能我们的光明容了，恭喜嘞，现在没事把那点事就送不到了，看别梦都得去给找我因为那年写了，那年年路那送我去了，跟你们去开窍我是，现在呢就是这个总而言之，那我们已经这个共同的四个前行，人生难得，从人生难得开始，或者是自己哪一个方面开始，你就这个容易生气的，就从这里开始必须要这个观想这个释迦性的这个共同的释迦性的这个观修要做。所以这个呢，今天松光的攻击心意法里面讲的，别人说是这个是前行的法，所以不是那么很重要的，是很一般的。但是今天松光他认为呢，这是非常这个重要的一个法，因为什么呢？好像我们想盖一个房子，那必须要把这个打好地基，这是很重要的。如果这个地基没有打好的话，那上面盖其他的房子也是不可靠的，不牢固的。所以在这个上面呢，上师也不要好像呢就是走过程一样的带下去，就不要这么的讲，要一个一个的要交代清楚。那弟子本身也是要一个一个的把这个观修起来，一个一个的把这些的觉受或者是体悟能够可以有的话，那这个是非常这个对我们修行上非常有意义的。所以呢，就是这个法上讲的是这样。
Rinpoche read it out in the Tibetan verses and say, so by now we have already heard the teachings on the four common preliminaries, like precious human body, impermanent, the law of karma, and the samsaric world is sufferings, or the cyclic existence is only sufferings. So we can start contemplating by using any one of these four contemplation type of meditations, and it will do us a lot of good when we do these 4 common Ngondro, or the 4 common preliminary. And it's stated in one of the commentaries of, in one of the teachings of Lord Jiten Songpong's, whereby it says that a lot of people, they will say that this preliminary is not important at all. You should go for higher teachings. But Lord Jiten Songpong said, no, actually, this is very, very important, because it's just like when we want to build a house, according to Rinpoche, we have to have a very strong foundation. We have to lay down a strong foundation in order to build a house, a proper house. If we do not lay down strong foundations, then we build the building on top of it, then the building will not be stable and it might collapse any times. So similarly, in these aspects, if we talk of the guru and disciple relationships, the guru will have to clearly try to let the disciples know each and every one of the 4 common preliminary, to make sure that he clearly lay out the teachings. And as for the disciple himself, he will have to, each and every one of it, he will have to try to contemplate and to assimilate the teaching inside himself, and to have experience and realization in this aspect. Then with this, then you will have a good practice.
所以今天呢，我们在这个共同的释迦行的部分，基本上讲完了。那讲这些过程的时候，实际上我也不太爱讲这个痛苦，什么什么痛苦，比如说地狱的痛苦，这些都也不愿意，不太愿意讲的。因为什么呢？这样的时候，大家都觉得一个心里很不舒服的感觉，很痛苦的感觉。但是另一角度来说起来的话，这些必须得要讲，讲了以后，对我们不但没有这种心境上的这个压力，反而对我们任何一个困难能够这个对治，任何一个困难能够可以这个挑战，所以呢，我们更应该这个勇气，勇敢起来了。所以在我们这样的这种勇敢的信念产生的时候，我们可以寻找这个解脱的路，我们能够成为罗汉的果位，是不是？那更是我们在知道一切轮回的痛苦的时候，对一切的众生产生无边的这样慈悲心。所以我们在这个修慈悲心的同时，我们升级菩提心，所以将来我们也争取到真正我们有利益众生的成佛。所以这些都并不是什么好像呢就是不成为一个你的一个怎么说呢，这种消极的一个因素，必须应该要成为一个积极的这个因素，是很重要的。
Rinpoche said today he have finished all the teaching on the 4 common preliminaries. So actually, from the bottom of his heart, he feel that in his teachings, actually he would not like to talk much about all this kind of suffering in this extreme, because by saying this, a lot of us will feel very uneasy, very uncomfortable about this. But Rinpoche said that if from another angle, if we look at it, we have to talk about it. By saying it, then we will not really have to face more suffering or face the pressures. When we deal with real problem, which always exists in these extremes, we will be able to, through this understanding, know how to deal with it, how to organize ourselves so that we will lessen all these sufferings that we face in these human realms, or those realms that we might be going. So we will become brave in our mind. We will have more determination in our mind that what we should do for our future, what is next for the next day, for tomorrow. So we will determine to search for liberation, a path to liberation like the Arahants. And having understand this, we will realize that all other sentient beings, they also face the same problems. Then we will generate loving kindness and compassion towards them. And with that as a foundation stone, we will generate bodhicitta. And with this, as we practice along in futures, we will reach a state whereby we try to practice to reach enlightenment. It's not for the sake of ourselves, but for the sake of all sentient beings as well. So this is not actually per se mistake. If you see in terms of this aspect, you'll find that it will try to bring out the potential in you where you will move forward the right path and practice Buddhism.
所以这个三界轮回的痛苦，我们讲的目的呢，并不是把你弄的这个好像呢就是让你心很痛苦，并不是这个意思。所以本来是轮回是痛苦，这是它的轮回的本性。所以我们让你认识这个轮回的本性的时候，才能够产生你什么呢？这个解脱轮回的这个出离心才能够产生的。有了这个出离心的前提的情况下呢，那你真正走上这个解脱的路上来。所以冈波巴大师也说了，我们心趋向于法，法趋向为转道，就是所谓的道，就是那我们必须要走到正确的这个修行的路上来。所以呢，这些都是我们这个讲的目的，就是并不是让你产生一个痛苦的心理，并不是这个意思。所以从真正的认识轮回的本性是很重要的。所以今天我们讲的过程当中，也是使我们比方说地狱怎么苦啊，这些都讲了。所以讲的过程当中，那我们大家也是从这里面，那为什么地狱那么苦呢？因为他造了恶业，所以受这样的痛苦，是不是？所以呢，必须要我们不做恶业。那天然这些有什么样的幸福呢？那这些也是因为他们造了善业，所以有这个好的果。所以这些都是这个认识因果的一个的循环的一个过程，是很需要了解，这些是很重要的。
So when Rinpoche talk about in the three realms, whereby it is in the cyclic existence, there will always be suffering, no real happiness. So talking about this is not try to make us to be very sad or to be find that it's very helpless or pessimistic. The whole idea is for us to recognize that the essence of the samsara world is no other than only sufferings. The only way to get out of it, right, or to be liberated from sufferings, is to create a mind of renunciations, no attachments to all this temporary enjoyment in this world. With this turning of the minds, then we will be on the path to liberations. It's just like what Kampopa says. You make sure that your mind will tune towards the path to the Dharma. From the Dharmas, then you work toward the path and practice and get liberation. And you have the right path in your life. So, so in the teaching, we have to very frankly talk about all this. Is not to make you feel, oh, I'm so suffering, living in a suffering world. It's not that. It let us recognize that, again, Rinpoche emphasized that the essence of the whole cyclic existence is actually only lead to sufferings. Like today, Rinpoche said, when you talk about the hell realms, there is a lot of sufferings, and other realms also have sufferings. Through this teaching, we have to contemplate why is it that there are suffering in the hell realms. The reason being that the sentient beings in the past life, they have created a lot of negative karma, a lot of wrongdoings. So, with this aspect, we will try not to do evils, not to do wrongdoings. But if we look at why is that those beings in the heaven realms, they are full of happiness, it's because they do goods. So the end results, the fruits of the result is that they have happiness. So saying all this actually is to recognize the law of karma according to Rinpoche.
好，那今天讲到这里。那现在，他们说时间到了嘛，那我们做一个简单的回向，
Now, time's up. Rinpoche said that we will stop here, so we will dedicate the merits for listening to the Dharmas to all sentient beings. Please turn to page 5 on dedication prayer.
我今将觉得罗马罗达，玛拉梅拉觉觉康波，阿周巴耶瓦觉公巴，卡耶拉玛南耶扎西修。So nam ye nam je se pa ne, lo ne ye pe nam pa je ne, ye na je ma Ngondro pa ne, si le so le do wa do wa shu.
The English, we chant the English verses. Great Vajradhara, Tilopa, Naropa, Mapa, Milarepa, Dhamma Lord Gampopa, Pamodrupa, Conqueror Jugongpa. May the Kagyu Lama illumine our awareness. By these merits, may all seeing states be attained, or else may all negative emotions be conquered. Thus, may migrators be liberated from samsara's ocean, which is agitated by the vortex of birth, aging, illness, and death. 华文的金刚种子披露拿肉于马尔巴密勒法王汤波巴，帕莫诸巴圣神之公报，愿助他举上师之迹象。以此功德得证一切见，击败一切祸患之敌众，生老病死杂乱之波涛，轮回大海，愿度诸众生。
拉玛贡嘎萨玛索瓦耶，卓多古塞留阿索瓦耶，真人当先耶阿索瓦耶，拉玛甘达瓦尼玛吉耶罗，将来瓦沃吉达天巴当。温度上波的样的前提，太阳中间结束大波形，天瓦的大团结让多么，上天不算一辈情
I pray that the Gurus have good health and supreme long life, and that his enlightened activity spread and increase. Bless me to become inseparable from the Guru. As the courageous Manjusri and also Samantabhadra again exerted wisdom, I pray, following their example and complete dedicate all these virtues, by the blessings of the Buddha who obtained the three kayas, by the blessings of the authenticity of phenomenon's changeless nature, by the blessings of the indivisible assemblies of the Sangha, may these aspiration prayers be accomplished as I have dedicated. Through the virtue accumulation in the past, present, and future, by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and through the intrinsic basics of virtue, may all sentient beings and I swiftly attain precious, perfectly complete enlightenment. 祈请上师圣功永康泰，祈请上师圣寿寿无疆，祈请佛行事业广增延，愿得无理上师齐加持，犹如文殊勇士大智慧，复是普贤菩萨如是信。随系彼等一切我学习，此功德等一切尽回向。佛陀三身得正之加持，法性不变真谛之加持，真结坚固具济之加持。如是回向祈愿越成就，以我及一切有记众三世所累积于有善之根本。愿我及一切众生速证圆满无上菩提心苗宝。
恭着人家颂念摩尼，愿得净法诸悲悲开创，永我三国见业心在法，真人龙珠天天相见手。恭着颂念天法心法法，那给万尊皆尊将美，头戴人间光美心在法，决定浪漫给人小见手。
Essential nature of the precious triple gem, the holder of the white lotus who emanates to uphold the conqueror's teaching, the one whose eye of wisdom perceives the totally sublime meaning, may spontaneously accomplish enlightened activities remain steadfast for 100 eons. Holders of the teachings of the triple gems, powerful Lord of Speech, Venerable Mansusari, the one who raises the lamp of the victor's precious teaching, may the illuminations of the Dharma remain steadfast for 100 eons. 三宝总体观音之化身，应化传世佛陀法教者，悲眼洞见四义圆满尊，祈请事业正运出百界，三宝总体文殊之化身，与自在之至尊之举者，举到能整圣教明灯尊，祈请此法法显出百劫。
Emma Modara Sangye Nama Dayeta Yesu Chudu Chebuda Yado Seva Tuje Tokamba Sangye Chansen Pati Kojiko Tere Moza Patu Mipaye Dewa Shenche Chave Shimande Achen Gene Se
In the space is wondrous Buddha, limitless illumination Amitabha, with the great compassion Lord Chandrasekhar to his right, and the courageous being of great might Vajrapani to his left. Immediately on transmigrating from here, uninterrupted by other kinds of birth, may I and others take rebirth in that pure realm of infinite, wondrous bliss and happiness known as Devacheng. Thus may we behold the countenance of limitless illumination. I beseech all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions to bless that this aspiration prayer I have made be accomplished without hindrance. Teyatha Panpenja Jaya Avakodana Shoha. May precious Supreme Bodhicitta arise, in whom it has not been generated. May that which has been generated not decline, but exponentially increase.
地界无量稀有妙法，名为极乐世界之间言。则他从真命中之当下，不为他身居所作难。于彼3年愿见弥陀佛，我见如是法之所愿意。十方一切诸佛及菩萨，无为成就其见思加身。雷阿达曼遮雷阿瓦波达那耶娑，说上菩提心妙，诸位。一生者亦不可有，许愿当中跟着上。
好，谢谢。
谢谢。